Joro spiders are scientifically known as Trichonophila clavata and are native to East Asia countries Japan, China, Korea, and Taiwan. For the past 3 years we have been photographing, videoing and studying the invasive Joro spider at our farm. We have even gone so far as to feed them to see how long they would live into the winter. One, in particular, lasted through numerous freezes until January 20th. In the online publication, Alcation, Linda Crampton states, the word Joro is capitalized in the spider's common name because it comes from the name of a creature called the Jorogumo. In Japanese folklore, a Jorogumo is a spider that can turn itself into a beautiful woman. The woman traps men in her web and then eats them. The spider that transforms itself is often said to be the Joro one. Thus far, we at the farm have luckily not seen this happen. In an article written by Emily DeLetta in USA Today, she writes, the latest species of spider found in the US are huge, brightly colored and travel in a method described as ballooning. And, according to new research, they're spreading out to new states around the country. Researchers at Clemson University published a study on Joro spiders, coming to the conclusion that the species is spreading rapidly beyond the South Carolina area, and data shows they could inhabit most of the eastern United States. David Coyle, a scientist and professor at Clemson, had one major takeaway from the results of the study: these things are here to stay. The study assessed the Joro spider's native range and used 20 variable and advanced modeling techniques to quantify its habitability elsewhere. Those data show that this spider is going to be able to inhabit most of the eastern United States, Coyle said in a release from Clemson. It shows that their comfort area in their native range matches up very well with much of North America. The Joros in the northeast section of Georgia were first seen in 2013. It is believed they entered the country at an Amazon shipping center in Commerce, Georgia. Let's take a quick look at spider anatomy to get a better understanding of our Joros. The following information and spider diagrams are from the Australian Museum. Check them out online. They state that spiders are ancient animals with a history going back many millions of years. They have always been with us, an ancient source of fear and fascination. They are abundant and widespread and are natural controllers of insect populations. Spiders are arachnids, not insects, but both spiders and insects belong to the largest group of animals on Earth, the arthropods, animals with hard external skeletons and jointed limbs. These are the spinnerets on our Joros. Now, let's take a look at how the Joros reproduce, eat, grow and travel. We have noticed that there are no signs of the Joros until June, when the weather warms up. Baby Joros are extremely small and the legs are translucent. In these pictures they are approximately 1/8 inch or less. They already spin webs and catch bugs, or in this case a smaller Joro. As they grow into the summer they will get their color. You see the strangest things when videoing Joros. Here we have a baby Joro on a metal T-post eating a smaller Joro while Mama and Papa Beetle go about their business. Once again, notice the size difference between the male and female Joros, with the male being considerably smaller. Unlike some species, there are only 2 sexes with the Joros, male and female. Joro silk is not only beautiful but extremely strong. Joros will extrude this silk and get carried away by the wind. This is called ballooning and is how they travel and reach up into telephone wires and trees. As you can imagine, a strong wind can balloon a small Joro very far. We have seen them hanging onto vehicles traveling at 70 miles per hour. Every living thing has to eat, and of course that includes our Joros. This girl has a nice juicy beetle. You can see her injecting the beetle with her venom to kill it while wrapping it with silk to keep control. Look closely and you can see her hind legs pulling silk and wrapping it around the beetle. A close-up shows the hooks on her legs that allow her to manipulate her silk. Now this girl caught herself a nice leg and is fastidiously wrapping it for a later meal. And this girl has a nice little Joro for supper. Probably her late husband. Joros are very clean and constantly grooming themselves. Now let's go back to our beetle-eating female and watch an event rarely videoed. Mating for Joros is a very dangerous undertaking for the male. Female Joros are cannibals and will gladly eat a suitor for dinner. Males have to be very careful when attempting to mate with a female. The task requires planning, watching, duplicity, and stealth. We can see our male suitor scoping out the situation with his proposed target. One slip up, or if she is in a foul mood, could wind up him replacing the beetle. However, today fortune is smiling upon him. His target is chomping away on a nice juicy beetle and she is paying him no mind. He sneaks down to survey the situation. So far so good. He heads back up to safety to build up courage. He seems a little pensive and scared. We would be too if we knew we could be eaten at any time. Then with legs flailing he makes his move and dives in, risking death at every move. He succeeds at getting into position and begins transferring sperm. Luckily for him she is receptive. Male sex organs are called pedipalps and female sex organs called epigynem. Now in the online publication How Stuff Works, an article by Tom Harris states that once the female recognizes the male's courtship behavior, she will position herself for sex, signaling to the male that she is receptive, or she will make it clear that she is not receptive, by shaking her web, for example, or just crawling away. If the male is desperate to mate, because all the females in the area will soon lay their eggs, he may proceed anyway, with full understanding that the female might kill him. Both the male and female reproductive organs are at the rear of the abdomen, but spiders don't mate by coupling these organs. Instead, The male deposits some sperm onto a small web and picks it up on the end of his pedipalps. When the female is in position, the male deposits the sperm in the female's genital opening. The female stores the sperm in receptacles near the ovaries. When she is ready to lay her eggs, months down the road in some species, she uses the sperm to fertilize them. Some spiders may lay hundreds, even thousands of eggs in one shot. Mission accomplished, his genes are now passed on to the next generation. He won't live to see it, but he possibly fathered 500 babies. And now heads back up to safety. In our area, which is northeast Georgia, Joros do not live through the winter. Although we have observed them living through multiple frosts and several hard freezes, they eventually die. We believe there are several reasons for this. The weather eventually gets them. They freeze. Also, we have observed that lack of other insects lessens their natural food supply. As they weaken, they cannot keep up their webs, thus not catching food even if available. Also, they may just have an annual lifespan. One Joro in particular we named Juliet. We fed her mealworms and mealworm beetles continually. She lived in a rather sheltered area and survived multiple below freezing nights. However, there came a time in late January, long after all her contemporaries perished, that she stopped eating although the weather was fair. A week later she died. The good, the bad and the ugly. In an excellent article in the publication UGA, Today, dated May 2023, and written by Lee Hathaway, he states that according to a new study from the University of Georgia, the Joro spider may be the shyest spider ever documented. The article continues with one of the ways that people think this spider could be affecting other species is that it's aggressive and out-competing all the other native spiders, said Andy Davis, lead author of the study and a research scientist in UGA's Odum School of Ecology. So we wanted to get to know the personality of these spiders and see if they're capable of being that aggressive. It turns out they're not. The researchers compared more than 450 spiders' responses to a brief and harmless disturbance across 10 different species. While most spiders froze for less than a minute before resuming their normal activities, the Joro spiders remained motionless for more than an hour. They basically shut down and wait for the disturbance to go away, Davis said. Our paper shows that these spiders are really more afraid of you than the reverse. In fact, Joros are relatively harmless to people and pets. Joros won't bite unless cornered. And even if you did manage to somehow annoy a Joro into biting you, its fangs likely wouldn't be large enough to pierce your skin. One good thing about the Joros is that they eat pests like stink bugs and mosquitoes. However, many people do not think this makes up for the annoying webs they weave all around our houses and their scariness. Luckily, they are an outside spider and will not purposely enter dwellings. If you have ever had one get on you, it can be a frightening experience. However, rest assured that they don't want to be there any more than you want them there. They are web dwellers and don't do well anywhere else. Like it or not, they are our new neighbors and will most likely be so forever. Learning about them will probably never make you accept them. However, learning about your neighbors may help in understanding them. Thanks for watching, and we will keep an eye out for next year's batch.